Sweet Baby Inc. has gotten exposed, and you know things are bad when the gaming press have begun running cover for them. That is when the behind-the-scenes panic is real, but gamers now know, and that genie is not going back into the bottle. Some stories about behind-the-scenes horrors don't get the attention it should, like CNBC's revelation that Disney functionally doesn't have a board, only Iger sycophants. Other stories, however, pick up exactly the kind of steam with a very group who can make a difference, which is the case with Sweet Baby Inc. and gamers, and the horror stories just won't stop coming. John F. Trent, one of the best journalists in the entertainment space, did some digging which resulted in a cover story over at that park place. Sweet Baby Inc. CEO and co-founder Kim Belair compares white male gamers to picky babies. Because why not? The company is inherently anti-white, a sentiment that is very clearly expressed by its CEO, Kim Belair. Trent's write-up reads, Sweet Baby Inc. CEO and co-founder Kim Belair previously compared white male gamers to picky babies as she explained how her company gained influence on major video game developers during a 2019 Game Developers Conference. At the beginning of her presentation, Belair made it abundantly clear what her and her company's role are. We do narrative development in games and kind of beyond, and we try to bring inclusion, diversity, and new ideas kind of to the industry. And remember, remove the 1984-style doublespeak. In the context of DEI, inclusion means exclusion of white people, and diversity means non-white and nothing else. Later in her presentation, she also confirmed the company acts as sensitivity readers for video games, saying, "We need sensitivity readers. We need risk assessment." And these are again, important services that I literally list on every PDF that I send out to be hey, I can do risk assessment and sensitivity reading. Oh, can you now? Let's go on a momentary side quest and develop that a bit further. Despite her claim, Kim Belair evidently cannot do risk assessment, because if she did, she would have known that working for a company that pushes DEI doctrine, many parts of which are blatantly illegal, is playing with fire, and sooner or later, someone is going to get burned. Case in point, while this is not directly related to Sweet Baby Inc., CBS and Paramount are right now being sued by a writer who argues that he was denied employment opportunities time and again because he was white, male, and straight, as the company prioritized filling their quota of women, people of color, and of the LGBTQIAP+ persuasion, even if they on paper were substantially less qualified than him. Now, I don't know how skilled the suing writer himself was, but it almost doesn't matter, because in light of Paramount and CBS prior public commitments to that at least 50% of their writing staff had to be women, people of color, or LGBTQ, he should have a pretty good case regardless. Likewise, as we also saw in the previous video, BlackRock has, in SEC filings, admitted that their commitment to ESG and DEI poses a threat to their business. But for some reason, Kim Belair, CEO of a company that does nothing but DEI and who claims to be a risk assessor, failed to see that risk. Her company certainly brought nothing but risk to its clients, as they're finding out right now. So on that note, Warner and Rocksteady should consider suing her and Sweet Baby Inc. Because if, and I'm not saying it was, but if her risk assessment to them was that the Sweet Baby Inc. version of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League did not come with substantial risk of brand damage and financial loss, then her assessment was incompetent at best. In her defense though, as we also saw in that previous video, nowhere on their website do Sweet Baby Inc. suggest that it's actually financially beneficial to hire them. All they do is diversify and propagandize the games, and if clients like Rocksteady lose because of that, that's not Sweet Baby Inc.'s problem. But moving on from risk assessment, she also said that she and Sweet Baby Inc. can do sensitivity readings. Not a valuable skill, mind you, and not one that has ever made anything any better, but that she no doubt can do. What's a sensitivity reading, you may wonder? Well, that is when a writer, by implication a white writer, writes a script that directly or indirectly involves someone non-white, i.e. someone whose lived experiences they cannot begin to fathom, and ideally should not be writing about. But the catch-22 here is that if a white writer writes something that doesn't involve any people of color, that's even worse. So the solution to the dilemma is that white writers can involve non-white people in their stories, but a sensitivity reader needs to review the script to ensure it wasn't offensive, as well as to provide a mandatory struggle session and advice on how to diversify even further. In other words, sensitivity readings are not there to enhance the story, but to police white writers and push diversity, frequently at the expense of what the story originally was supposed to be about. And that is very much so in line with what Sweet Baby Inc. is doing. So let's return to Sweet Baby Inc. and that Park Place's write-up about that gaming conference from 2019. About 2/3 through the 30-minute presentation, Belair compared white male gamers to picky babies, saying, "I think in our industry and in so many creative industries, if you want to look at film and television and any art form, we start treating our core demographics as a fixed and static value, something that does not want to change and something that is locked in place." That right there is code for that she's about to start talking about an imaginary modern audience, and the audience she wants to will into existence, as she continues. So despite the changing face of audiences, despite the changing face of conferences like this one, we still look at our core demographics and say, okay, they're white, cis, hetero males, and we cater almost exclusively to them. Now, what she is describing here is the paying customers. And when you're in the business of making games that cost hundreds of millions to produce, you probably should cater almost exclusively to those that actually will be paying to buy your game. But that, of course, is objective reality and not her truth. She continues, and the problem is we don't just cater to them like, here's something that we think you'll enjoy. We cater to them like a picky baby. Every successful company in history ever? Well, they got to be that by giving their customers what they wanted and doing it better than their competitors. Any competitors who decided that, we really shouldn't cater to our customers as if they were babies. We should really be giving them what we think they should have rather than what they want, tended not to stay in business very long. But in being a commie, the Sweet Baby Inc. CEO doesn't understand this, so she elaborated. We feed them the same thing that we know that they love and we keep on feeding it. We're like, here you go, we know you love it, eat this, eat this, eat this. So then, when they get anything else, they react as a picky baby would, which would be like, oh, no thank you, I do not want this. And we've actually done this so long that what we're doing is creating an entire nation of picky babies, and they make us scared to deviate from what we actually want to do. Yeah, there's the keyword, what they want to do. Just in case these picky babies don't want to play our games. Again, providing paying customers with the product or service that they're after and willing to pay for isn't creating a nation of picky babies. That seems to be some projection on her part right there. That is simply running a business, and as a byproduct, giving people the cultural expressions that they want is building a more cohesive nation that isn't going to divide and break so easily, as one where forced toxic diversity is the order of the day. And that indeed is what is going on right now, both in gaming and in Hollywood at large. Making every form of cultural expression partisan and divisive is dividing the nation. There's a business price to pay for that though. Sweet Baby Inc.'s Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, a game Kim Belair no doubt was very proud of, was a massive flop that will cripple its developer, and rightfully so. And now that they're exposed and the Sweet Baby Inc. detected curator just keeps on growing and more games are being boycotted, the industry is starting to freak out, enough that Otaku is running cover for them, with the article "Sweet Baby Inc. doesn't do what some gamers think it does." We already broke down exactly what Sweet Baby Inc. does in the previous video, check it out if you haven't seen it. What this article does is gaslight you by debunking claims that no one actually believed in the first place, all while mixing the truth with half-truths and some outright distortions of the truth, which are debunked by Sweet Baby Inc. themselves, a company that will publicly drill the activist employees in various gaming companies on how to manipulate their employer into hiring Sweet Baby Inc. into ruining their games.
If you're a creative working in AAA, which I did for many, many years, put this stuff up to your higher-ups, and if they don't see the value in what you're asking for when you ask for consultants, when you ask for research, go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them with the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want.
So, what's the point of running this article? Well, that would be because the entire DEI racket is under threat now. Sweet Baby Inc. has become certified toxic in the eyes of gamers, and may already be a lost cause. So now it's all about creating the perception that this was all overblown, because what Sweet Baby Inc. does is actually harmless. Because the industry needs the gamers to stop this right now, before they get the bright idea of going after other companies that do exactly the same as Sweet Baby Inc. Alas, lists of these companies, which include the likes of Hit Detection, Balance Patch, Silver String Media, Stone Meyer Games, Gamer X, Dragon Baby, Weird Ghost, Infinite Ammo Inc., and Gamma Space, among many others, are already starting to spread. The gaming industry would be truly horrified if customers started voting with their wallets against games that these companies have been involved with as well. We wouldn't want that to happen now, would we? As usual, let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comments.